I have no one to turn to. Literally every single Mandela effect out there has affected me. There's not one that I have found that I don't remember the old way. To the point where it is ruining my life. It's all I think about 24/7. I can't sleep at night. I get severe headaches, depression. Every time I go out in public, I remember stuff the way it used to be and not how it is now. And it really, really has consumed my life to the point where I feel like I don't belong here anymore. This isn't my home. There are two very big Mandela effects out there that have really, really gotten to me. Number one is the fact that our human anatomy has changed so much. For instance, we now have bones behind our eyes. This really bothers me because when I went to school and studied in university biology, we never had bones behind our eyes. It was always hollow back there. That's what I was taught. And that's what every single book I read back then told me. I remember going to the doctor and them having a big picture of the skeleton on the wall, and I never saw bones behind our eyes. That's totally foreign to me. But however, that's how it's always been, apparently. We now have holes in our skull. They claim they're for nerves that were never there. But now we have them. And to be honest, I hope to God that's not what I look like under my skin, because that's not me, and that's not how I was born to look like. That's not my anatomy, and I don't want to look like that. I haven't been to the doctor and had an x-ray in a very long time, so I don't know if that's how I look like now, but if it is, I will break down and cry in the doctor's office because I know 100% that's not what I'm supposed to look like. And that really bothers me. And I think it bothers many other people affected by this too. Number two that really has gotten to me is the fact that our world has changed, the world map. When I look at the world map now, it is totally not the way I remember it. For instance, South America, I remember being directly under North America. Now, it's pushed to the right, more under Florida. I was not taught that, and I remember photos from my history book showing South America being directly under North America, which is why it's called South America, because it's directly under North America. Europe and Australia have changed. The North Pole, where is the North Pole, you guys? I mean, what the hell? I think it's supposed to be ocean now. I don't remember that. That really freaked me out because that's not the world I am from. That's not where I'm from. And it really bothers me and affects me that how the hell can it be like that? You know, I've tried talking to my wife about this stuff, but honestly, I've been married to my wife for a very long time, many, many years, and I love her to death, and I know she loves me too, but how can you sit down with someone you love so much and you've been with so long and tell them that things in your reality are changing? You don't remember shit being like they are now. How can you, I mean, honestly, how can you sit down with someone you love and say, babe, I don't remember us having bones behind our eyes. I don't remember my rib cage looking the way it does now. I don't remember my heart being more center and not to the left. Do you? I mean, how can you physically sit down with someone you care about and talk about this stuff about them thinking you're crazy? It's really hard for me. Now, I have talked to my wife about some stuff and told her some stuff that I'm going through, and to be honest, she's not very supportive about it because it doesn't really bother her. She thinks that, oh, okay, yeah, you're just having a memory mislapse, so you're not remembering stuff correctly, you're just getting old. Honestly, I think she's starting to think I'm crazy, and that's totally opposite of what I want her to think. So recently, I've kept my mouth shut the best I can and try not to tell her things that are bothering me, even though I look depressed and feel sad, and it's hurting me inside. I try not to let it out because I don't want my wife thinking that I'm totally batshit insane. But I have talked to her about some stuff, and there have been Mandela effects that have bothered my wife. There are some things that bother her, but however, when I tell her that, well, that's how it's always been, and they've changed now, she'll just blow it off as, well, I guess I misremembered. I had a brain fart. Oh, well, You know, she'll say that. So she really doesn't understand the Mandela effect and the stuff I say to her. So I try to let it go, because the last thing I want is for my wife to think I'm batshit crazy and to divorce me because of it. So I can't really talk to her about this stuff. I've talked to my father very much about this and told him everything I'm going through. And at first, when I first started explaining this stuff, I really think he thought I was crazy, because he stopped contacting me for a while. I mean, he used to call me every other night, and then he wouldn't contact me for weeks. And I just knew deep down in my head that I made my dad think I'm crazy, and he's not wanting to talk to me because all I talk about is the Mandela effect, trying to tell him stuff that's happening, and he doesn't want to hear it because he thinks I'm crazy. So I talked about the world map changes and showed him the way it looks now, and he's like, oh yeah, it's always looked like that. I said, no Dad, not for me. I was trying to stop thinking about the Mandela effect for a while. That's why I haven't made any videos after my Snow White. I was like, you know, I gotta stop this. I gotta be normal, be a normal person for my wife and my family. I don't want them to think I'm crazy. However, my wife and I went to Costco over the weekend, and I was feeling pretty good. I stopped thinking about stuff, and I was enjoying shopping around, looking at stuff, buying food and stuff like that, and having a good time with my wife. Until we walked down the carpet aisle, and they have these mats, like floor mats you roll out, and of space and other stuff. And one of the floor mats was the world map. And I watched a little kid roll the mat across the floor to open it up to show his mommy, mommy, mommy. And I saw the way it looked, and I was just like, no, that's not the map I remember. That's not where I'm from. And after I saw that and looked at it, then I started feeling like shit. I got depressed, I got a headache, and that's all I could think about was that's not where I'm from. That's not where I belong. That's not my world. That's not my reality. That's not what things used to be like. That's not where things used to be yet. I have no one to turn to talk about this. I can't talk to my wife about it. I can't really talk to my father about it or any other family members, because I don't want people to think I'm crazy. So the only people I really got out there is you guys on YouTube. So I need help. You just keep it to yourself and try to live a normal life the best you can. For me, I think the best thing I can do is keep it to myself, so I don't want my friends and family and my wife to think I'm crazy, and I don't want to scare them to think that I'm losing my mind. They just look at you like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know? So what do you guys do? Can you help me? I feel so desperate reaching out to people over YouTube, but you guys, many of you people are going through the same thing I am. So please leave comments below of how I can handle this, how I can get through my life.
Here's some shit that I've been looking up lately. It's been a lot of, what do you call them, the Mandela flip-flops, where there was a Mandela effect, right? You remember something being a particular way. It is no longer that way. You see a video on it, or you go to a blog about it, everyone's commenting, right? You come back to that maybe a week, maybe a couple weeks. In some instances, I've seen 4 months. They come back to it, and now the way they remember it, that's how the fucking video that they saw the first time is now. Like, but they were, it's crazy. So it's like it goes back and forth, right? Now, I have a theory about this. I have a theory about this shit. All right, we're going to use an example. We're going to use the Ford one. That's the first shit that comes to my head, right? Okay, so basically, everyone is saying that when they look at this Ford logo now, there's a little pigtail, little squiggly loop on the part of the F leading to the O. Where it goes F, and then it's like going towards the O. It's a little squiggly line, right? No one seems to remember that being there, including myself. There have been mechanics, like people who work on cars for a living and have been doing this for decades, and they don't remember ever seeing a squiggly line on the Ford logo, right? So we're going to use this as an example, okay? maybe, and this is my theory, maybe the Mandela effect first affects the items, and then over time, progressively, it affects your actual memory, okay? Now, I know that sounds crazy to start with because the Mandela effect is off gate. It's already your memory being fucked with, but hear me out. Let's say I remember the Ford sign never having the little pigtail squiggly loop, right? I'm shocked. I go on YouTube. I find a video. I'm like, oh shit, what's this Mandela effect? The Ford fucking logo. I read the comments. No one else remembers this, right? The video is showing pictures how all the logos now have this squiggly tail. I'm thinking to myself, wow, okay, I'm not the only fucking one, right? So that's the beginning part. That's when the Mandela effect has affected the item. It's affected, at this point, only the Ford logo. I still remember it being a different way. Okay? But I'm watching a video with it being totally fucking different. Everyone in the comments is saying that it's fucking different. So, okay, I come to grips with it. Well, after looking at all these pictures and videos and seeing this is how the fucking logo looks now. I still remember it looking different because from the time I was 6 years old or 5, whatever, from 5 years old, I've seen commercials, I've seen the cars. It did not have the squiggly line. 10 years old, didn't have it. Blah, blah, blah. Up until right now, my whole life, I've seen these commercials. I've seen this product in person. But now that I have come to the realization that this is not how it has been, because I see the proof. I'm looking at pictures. Nowhere is it without that. It's just been this way the whole time. So eventually, the Mandela effect has to catch up. Because at one point, someone had to create this logo. And when they did, this time around, they added the squiggly mark. So now that has happened. So me at 6 years old, watching commercials, that Ford logo had the squiggly line now. Even though there was a time where I was 6 years old watching this and it didn't. Now that that has been changed in the past, it has to catch up. When I was 6 years old watching this shit, when I was 10 years old, blah, 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 up until right now. So now, right now, it catches up to me. I remember this fucking logo now having the squiggly line. You feel what I'm saying? But I remember that I was just watching a YouTube video about this product and I was saying whatever the video was saying was wrong, right? So I'll go back to the video. Now the video has the squiggly tail, but the video always did. It's just now my memory has set in that, yo, I've been seeing this Ford logo with the squiggly sign my whole fucking life. And you know why? Because now I have. The Mandela effect has caught up to all the years. So when I was 6 years old, initially I was seeing it without it. Now I have seen this logo at 6 years old with the squiggly line. So now I know what I've been seeing my whole life, but I also know that I was just arguing against this fucking video. I come back to the video, I watch this shit, and lo and behold, the video has the motherfucking squiggly mark. What? I'm so confused now because I was just going against this video, and now I see the video has what I remember. But I remember remembering that this video didn't remember how I fucking remember it, and god damn it, that's how the Mandela effect just fucking took over your brain. But I was really thinking about this, and there could be some truth to it. I don't fucking know, because I got a lot of shit on my mind about this, and I was just being real quiet about it. Fuck that. We need to have these discussions. Leave your comments too. Let me know if you how you feel about this possibly being the truth. I mean, because if this shit, if we're looking at something and it is not how we remember it ever being, that means at some point when we were younger, we had to have seen it be this new way.
I can't tolerate it anymore. I am kind of horrified by it. And anybody who lies now, I just feel like they become a hot burner for me that I get scared because I know the destruction of lies. I know it. I live it. It's not something that I can hold back anymore. I just can't do it. I can't. But it's very lonely. I am alone now. And I have to wonder, do they even think about, what it means when they claim they're a Christian? Have they considered, do they take it seriously, their Christianity? Because in my mind, I see a real, falseness here. I see this hypocrisy that is glaring, obvious, and I don't, for most Christians, I don't understand how people can claim that they're Christian without really taking seriously what is being said here in this book. I don't know, maybe I just take life too seriously and want other people to take seriously life. And lying definitely is something that is very personal to me because my life has been destroyed by lies.
I ended up finding out about this Mandela effect. Well, it blew my mind because some of the stuff was just I had a Ford truck and the Ford logo changed, and it was that's one of the things 100% sure. And before I saw the Mandela video, I noticed it, and I just thought it's so stupid. I feel so stupid to say this now, but I just thought Ford changed their logo. The first time I saw the squiggly line, I just thought, oh, that's cool. They changed it, I actually like the old way better. I'm like, well, it's cool that they finally did something different, but the old logo looked better. It was manly, because I had a truck and it was just like a Ford. And anyway, but so then I just was crazy telling people about the Mandela effect, just friends and family, and I was obsessed with it, watching all the videos. And then eventually I was realizing that a lot of people got trolled. People were really hard on some of the Mandela affected people. So I figured, well, I don't really have any information. I just have opinions. But at least I'll have the balls to show my face and say, look, I'm a person, I'm Mandela affected, and I'll post a video and say who I am, pretty much, So most of the time they would probably laugh about the Mandela effect. They just think that you're insane. But it's just crazy because there's so many people that are affected with this, It just, I don't have any real information. I don't know. It's like somebody that I hate to use cancer as an example because it's a negative, but it's like if someone gets cancer or someone survives cancer, it doesn't mean that they're an expert. It doesn't mean that they know how to cure cancer. It just means that they're just a victim of it, But I don't think I'm a victim of the Mandela effect because I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. But I just am saying that I'm a Mandela affected person, and it's hard for me to make any videos because I don't know why. And the thing is, I've been watching all the videos of all the different people, and nobody knows why.
If you Google this theory, or if you type it into Wikipedia, it comes up with confabulation, I believe that's the word. Basically meaning BS. You don't know what you're talking about. So that sounds a little suspicious when you look up a theory that has to do with memories changing. That's what the theory is about. The theory is about commonly shared memories totally not aligning with reality, right? So it's like several people, including me, have a memory of Nelson Mandela, who, when he was in prison in the 80s, he actually just died in prison because of, who knows, the horrible conditions of living in prison at the time and his location. But in this reality, I was shocked in 2013. I was shocked by this when I found out that Nelson Mandela died that year. Because I had a vivid memory all throughout my childhood of just sheerly knowing that Nelson Mandela was a huge political figure. He was known as being a sort of peaceful activist or something of that nature, but his life was tragic because he died in prison. And he was released from prison at some point and then lived until 2013. And like, you can call me crazy. Go ahead. I don't care. Honestly. Many people have the same exact memory. So if you're like me and you have this memory, or if you have different memories from what our reality is actually like, you're probably not crazy. You're probably actually less crazy than the people that think that you're crazy. There's a part in the Bible that has been changed. So if you are an avid Bible reader and you have these words written in your soul now because you've been reading the Bible your whole life, you will be able to understand this. And, you know, even if the Bible itself physically has changed, there's a point when you need to trust yourself and you need to trust what you've read your entire life. And you need to look at this and be like, yo, this does not match up. I know this is not a translation. This is not a weird translation. It's never been this translation. And, you know, you just got to trust yourself, all right? So, Isaiah 11:6. Isaiah 11:6. So, this is one I actually do know about. I do remember this. I don't really remember the tales about it, but here, let's go. So Isaiah 11:6. Here's how I remember it being. And the lion will lay with the lamb. And so on for the rest of the quote. The leopard will lie down with the goat, the calf and the lion and the yearling together. And a little child will lead them. So here's what it says in my Bible, though. I'll show it to you. Wah, wah, wah. The wolf will live with the lamb, the leopard will lie down with the goat, and the calf and the lion and the yearling together. So the first part, the very first part, the wolf will live with the lamb. If you've ever heard that quote, you know it's not a wolf. It's a fucking lion. They're talking about lions. The Lord's Prayer. So this is one that I do remember very well because I have recited it over and over and over and over and over and over again. This is verse Matthew 6:11 that I'm reading this from. 6:12 actually. 6:12 has been changed. So it no longer says forgive us for trespassing, as we have also trespassed. It says forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors. What? Never heard of that before, and now if you Google it, it's there all the time. And sure, this might have been a change. I think this is one that's, oh, it kind of gets to me because it's like, shit, it's like I clearly remember trespassing, it being with a T. I don't know about the debts thing, but whatever. Like, honestly, this stuff is happening for a reason. Everybody would be like, what the fuck? So now everybody that has a changed Bible, like me, everybody that has totally different verses now in their Bible about the wolf laying with the lamb, people that actually see the change know now that we are in fact in a hologram and that this holographic book has been changed. But the only thing that is consistent is our memories. But our memories become more holographic when we give in to the idea that, oh, this is reality. Well, these changes are real. I mean, really fake. It's always been the wolf. It's always been the wolf with the lamb. In the meantime, I hope you all can help me out with, influencing the Mandela effect. Let's do this. Let's wake up. Let's wake up the world, because I can see now that this whole Mandela effect is, gosh, it's really important for people right now to actually wake up to the reality of it. It's very important, because the people that ignore the changes, and that say they just dismiss them. They're like, oh, yeah, it really is confabulation, just as Wikipedia says when you Google Mandela effect. Gosh, they're such pansies that they can't even make an article about the Mandela effect. They can write it about a lot of other things, even 9/11 conspiracies, I think, but the Mandela effect. Sounds like Wikipedia might be in on it. Yeah, how about that? That food for thought. But the people that are asleep, I can see now that, the people that ignore these changes are, I guess, gonna be missing out on facing the truth. Instead, people that are just kind of letting these changes occur without questioning it are gonna be really more delusional than, people that trust their own intuition. So even though our reality literally is changing around us, we have to trust ourselves. You gotta trust yourself, all right? But yeah, the people that are waking up to this, that are taking note of it, are definitely opening their eyes to the truth of things. And it's so funny because the truth, it's really simple. It really is a very simple thing to take in. And it's a very simple thing to do. It's a very simple thing to be honest. It takes so much more energy to fabricate things, to lie, to be deceitful. It's so much more energy to give yourself illusions, to feed yourself illusions, to tell yourself, this is real. This is totally real. But the fact that you're saying this is real like that, like the fact that you're telling yourself this is real, means that you probably doubt the reality of it. You know what I mean? You doubt it yourself, so you're telling yourself, yes, this is real, this is real. But, dude, stop reassuring yourself that everything is real. Nothing is real.